Alright guys, so welcome to today's video, and in today's video I would like to continue the series right here, and I would like to work on Star Platinum. Okay, so I want to start with the work of Star Platinum, and we are going to start by working on the outer appearance of our Star Platinum. Means we are going to create, yeah, all of those assets in Blender which are required in order to build up the appearance of Star Platinum. Okay, so the hair, the shirt, okay, the apps, the pants, the boots, whatsoever. So that's the content of today's video, and maybe for the next episode, and maybe for the third episode, which is about to come in the next week, okay? So we are going to, yeah, do some more boring stuff at the beginning for Star Platinum before we move on with, yeah, things like the time stop, Star Platinum's attacks, whatsoever. Alright, so with that being said, I would like to, yeah, start the video, and you guys, yeah, you guys should click on this, where is it? On this build rig thing right here. So you go to plugins and then build rig, and then you select R15 and then select this block rig, and it is supposed to create one. Yeah, okay, there we go. So we have just created this one, and we are now going to export a rig from Roblox into Blender in order to build onto that rig. So what do you need to do, and what are things you should watch out for? So let me start off by saying that this dummy right here, as it is currently, is not, yeah, satisfying. Okay, so we need to do some stuff on this dummy, and I recommend you first of all to remove one of each limb. So either remove one arm and one leg. Okay, so you may ask why. I'm gonna explain it to you. So left hand and left upper arm. There we go. And right leg, right foot. There we go. Okay, so let me tell you why. So we have two limbs, okay, which are identical to each other. Therefore, keeping one limb is totally fine. So we just save some room, some space, so it is just about saving some space. And we are still not done yet, so do not think that deleting the limbs makes this dummy right here ready to be used in Blender. We still need to move all of those single body parts apart, so there needs to be a gap in between those body parts, and let me explain you why. So for example, let's say that you want to create a shirt, okay? It is just an example, okay? This does not apply to Star Platinum anyway, but you want to create a shirt or a long sleeve, okay? So you start by putting a block thing onto his torso, okay? So how do you know um how thin this block thing is supposed to be, okay? So you can surely see it on this side, but what about this side, okay? So the view on the surface is blocked by the arm. Therefore, we need to move the arm a little bit to the left in order to see the surface on this torso's left side. Okay, and as you can see, the arm itself also contains some shapes which are not visible to the outside. So you need to move all of those body parts apart in order to see all of the surface, okay, and in order to be able to build onto that surface. Because otherwise you will run into the problem that some of the surfaces are not covered up enough, and that will show when you walk or when you play some animations on your character or on your stand, for example, and then the people will just see all of the blank spots or surfaces on, or the spots on the surfaces you haven't covered up. Okay, so that's that's the problem I want to point out. And in order to get rid of that, you need to do the following. So you need to tear them apart. So as you can see, I'm now able to see the bottom surface and the left surface, and those two were just covered by the arm and the lower torso, okay? And otherwise, I would have just covered this surface, this surface, this surface, and a small part of this surface, because the hat's bottom surface was also covering some small parts of the upper of the top surface, okay? And that's the problem I want to show you. All right. So now let's do the same for the arm. So that's the upper arm, that's the lower arm, and that's the right hand. Okay. Now, torso. Now, the upper leg, the lower leg, and the foot. Okay. And that's, yeah, that's one of the possible ways you could redo. So just need to move them apart, and you could possibly tell by the shape what kind of body part it is supposed to be. So this one is, for example, the upper arm, the lower arm, the hand. And that's the upper leg, the lower leg, and the foot. And if you're not able to tell them apart, then, well, then you could be easily confused by all of these. And then I would recommend you to not move them apart that much. So, well, keep them pretty near to each other, but do not move them as far apart as I have done. Okay, so if you just get easily confused by all of those shapes. All right, so with that being said, go to or select the dummy right here, right click, export selection, and then move it inside of your, no, and then save it somewhere. Okay, so I was about to say something silly, but just save it somewhere. So I'm gonna create a new folder. All right, and now we can switch over to Blender. There we go, guys. And let me now, first of all, just enable the screencast keys plugin, so you guys are able to see my mouse and my key inputs, as you can see. So this, yeah, left bottom corner is displaying all of my inputs, and we are now supposed to go to File, Import OBJ, and then import your dummy you have just exported from Roblox. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video at this point, and I'm gonna come back when I have imported the dummy. Okay, there we go. So if you have imported your dummy by clicking on your dummy's file, and you just see this blank spot, then do the following. So click space, and then write set origin. Okay, and then this bar will appear, and then select geometry to origin. And let me just quickly explain you something. So every geometric object has its origin, and the origin in this case is this small orange dot, okay? And as you can see, the geometry is obviously not nearby the origin, because the origin is here and there is no other object outside the origin or anything. And by doing this, so by doing the thing I've just explained to you, or I've just described, so by clicking on this geometry to origin, we will move the geometry, which is somewhere in the Splendor world, to its origin, means to this orange dot. And as you can see, that's what we have just done. Okay, and we can now build every single asset on this dummy right here, okay? So that's one thing. All right, now the second thing is the question on which asset we should start with. And for this purpose, I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna decide on one asset I want to start off with. All right, so I think that I'm gonna actually start with some easier parts. Okay, so I thought about starting with the hair and with the headband right away, but we only have, well, we only have some 6 to 11 minutes left, okay? And starting that asset within this short amount of time would be, well, would be not good, because I would have need to, yeah, stop the video within the building process, and you know, so that could possibly cause some confusion. Therefore, I'm just gonna work on some easy assets at this point. So I'm going to start with this this thing on Star Platinum's upper arm. So those plates, you know, so you should know what I'm talking about. At least I hope so. Okay, and for those purposes, we could use one certain modifier, but I'm gonna tell you about that modifier later on. So since we have a plate, okay, which has a symmetrical shape, means this side and this side are the same in shape. We can make use of one certain modifier, and in order to use that modifier, we need to cut this shape in 1/2. Okay. And then we need to go to this wrench symbol, and then we need to add this mirror modifier. And if you cannot see it on this side, then hit Y. And if you have cut off this side and cannot see it, then hit X, okay? And now, so make sure that clipping is enabled. And now every change on this side will be mirrored to this one. So as you can see, that's what I was talking about. And we can now start with the work, okay? And the next episodes are now going to be about building this thing, okay? And I'm honest with you, building could be very boring. So sometimes it is pretty boring, but well, that's one thing every developer has to go through. Unless you have a developing team, okay, with some members which just have who just have their roles, okay? So you have the modeler, the mesher, the animator, the scripter, whatsoever, okay? So if that's the case, then you're a lucky guy. But if you are someone who just prefers to work alone, as I do, then you'll probably face those issues I've just described. And we can also get rid of this side and then just hit Z, but we just run into one certain problem at this point. Wait. Oh, okay, yeah. There we go. So we have to select X. So as you can see, we are now mirroring this side and this side and this side. So we just need to do the changes on this one. All right. So I'm also tapping out of Blender just to see if the shape looks okay, and it seems to be okay. So wait. So the shape itself is pretty okay at this point. Let's apply this mirror modifier because there's some stuff we need to adjust on on those sides, or on those single sides right here. So there is some stuff which is not supposed to be mirrored on every side. Therefore, we had to apply the mirror modifier in order to be able to work on each side without mirroring it. Okay, yeah. Okay. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with all of those parts Star Platinum has. So with all of the clothing, etc. I hope so. So I hope that you're familiar with it. Otherwise, you might not be able to recognize what I'm trying to create at this point. Yeah. Okay, so I'm now going to add another shape, which is also going to be part of this part right here, okay? But it just is another shape which is required. Okay. I'm gonna move it inside, and then I'm gonna do the following. So I'm gonna extrude it to the outside, and I'm just gonna do this. Okay, now and stretch this out a little. Okay. All right, so that's it for this small part right here. We now need to work on this topping. And yeah, so that's a thing. So that's one thing. Which is a little bit more complicated, but it is not impossible to handle. So um yeah, let me create this plane. Okay. Okay. Wait, it is already pretty confusing for me. Yeah, let me just do it this way. Okay. Okay. So we have now created yeah, this kind of shape on this plate. Maybe you guys will know about it, maybe not, I'm not sure. But yeah, so this is a shape Star Platinum has, his arm. And yeah. Okay, so the shape is going to be the last thing I'm gonna work on for this episode, and then I'm gonna the video. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so that's it for this episode. I'm gonna go to File and then Save As, and then I'm gonna save this whole Blender file. And this just has the advantage that I'm able to open it up for the next episode once again. And yeah, so that's it with this episode, guys. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If so, leave a like, subscribe, share this video to all of your friends, and leave me feedback in the comment section. Also, leave me ideas for, yeah, possible features our Star Platinum could have in the comment section as well, guys. And yeah, with that being said, take care and see you in the next video. Alright.